In this video we are going to see how to obtain methyl acetoacetate. Methyl acetoacetate is used in the pharmaceutical industry as a sterilant and in the chemical industry as a solvent for celluloses and resins. My objective of this synthesis was to obtain raw material for the synthesis of nifedipine. After searching the internet for the way to obtain methyl acetoacetate and several unsuccessful attempts to obtain it by glycine condensation, the internet search resulted in obtaining methyl acetoacetate with methanol and catalysts composed of amine and ketanese. Due to the lack of high-priced reagents and difficult availability, I decided to design a synthesis from ethyl acetoacetate and other cheaper and available reagents. The first step is to obtain the sodium salt of acetoacetic acid by hydrolysis of ethyl acetoacetate with sodium hydroxide. This sodium salt can be decomposed by dry gaseous hydrogen chloride into sodium chloride and acetoacetic acid, which reacts with methanol to form methyl acetoacetate. To obtain the sodium salt of acetoacetic acid, in a 250 ml flask with reflux condenser, put 30 grams of ethyl acetoacetate, 10 grams of sodium hydroxide and 100 ml of dry ethanol. Protect the system from humidity with calcium chloride tubing. The mixture is heated for 1 hour at reflux. After refluxing, set up a distillation apparatus and distill the contents at low pressure and low temperature to remove all the ethanol. Little distilled ethanol was observed in the distillation. Its spontaneous evaporation by the system at low pressure is possible. The distillation is stopped when it is observed that the distillation residue is dark, very thick and does not distill ethanol. The next step is to decompose the obtained sodium salt into methyl acetoacetate. The obtained mass is diluted with 3 parts of 50 ml of methanol and transferred to a flask with 3 openings. One of the openings will be used to collect samples to check the pH. Set up a hydrogen chloride generator with drying traps to obtain a gas as dry as possible. Cool in a water and ice bath and pass dry hydrogen chloride through the methanol and sodium salt solution with stirring. Place a reflux condenser and connect a sodium hydroxide trap to the condenser outlet to collect excess hydrogen chloride. Dropping concentrated sulfuric acid on sodium chloride to produce hydrogen chloride. The gas is first dried with anhydrous calcium chloride and then passed through a scrubber containing concentrated sulfuric acid. When the gas is passed through the flask containing the sodium salt of acetoacetate, the color of the reaction is observed to be less dark. This occurs due to the formation of sodium chloride and methyl acetoacetate. Measure the pH by placing a drop of the reaction on a wet piece of indicator paper. When the reaction with the indicator paper is acidic, the addition of gas is stopped. If the pH is too low, small portions of sodium hydroxide can be added until a pH 7 is obtained. This operation was performed twice with the same amount of sodium acetoacetate and methanol. We left in agitation about 3 hours. The result is suction filtered to separate the formed sodium chloride. Wash the solid from the funnel with 2 parts of 25 ml of methanol. We mount simple distillation and distill as much methanol as possible. We let cool and filter to remove the last traces of sodium chloride. The filtrate is distilled in a hot water bath at low pressure to a solid consistency. After distillation, all the resulting methanol is cooled in an ice bath. Extract the content with 100 ml of ether. A brown residue is observed that is difficult to dissolve in ether. Shake to dilute most of the product. Filter through a funnel without suction and repeat the extraction operation 2 more times. After evaporation of all the ether, a reddish-colored liquid was obtained. To determine the boiling point, we heated 1 milliliter in a small tube with an inverted capillary until no bubbles are observed and the liquid rises through the inverted capillary. The boiling test result was 170 degrees. The yield of this operation was 72.5%.